Tributes to Alex Trebek continue to pour in this Monday evening. Jeopardy executive producer Mike Richards says of Alex his constant desire to learn, his kindness, and his professionalism will be with all of us forever. Lisa, you actually got to experience that kindness firsthand.
Yeah, it was about 8 years ago. I had the honor of visiting the Jeopardy set to see Alex in action. And we revisit that trip in today's Monday Memory.
For the thousands of contestants that have come across the stage, it's a battle of brains that could have them walking away empty-handed or returning a champion. Maggie Speak is a contestant producer. She says in the last 3 seasons, more than 100,000 people have taken the 50-question online test to get on the show.
From there, we kind of whittle it down to about between 2,000 and 3,000 that we see at in-person auditions. And guess what? They get to take another 50-question test at the in-person audition. We test our contestants fairly well.
Contestants who make it through the second test get an audition with a sort of mock Jeopardy game to see how they would do on stage. Each year, about 450 contestants compete on Jeopardy, all with the same goal. They want to join some of these more memorable players.
Oh, there are a number of memorable ones.
Host Alex Trebek fondly recalls the contestants that left a lasting impression.
Eddie Tamanis, a blind contestant who won a number of games on Jeopardy. Ken Jennings, our all-time winner in terms of number of games won, with 74, and Brad Rutter, who won $3.5 million with us. There have been many, many.
But perhaps the contestant that surprised Alex the most played in the celebrity tournament.
Cheech, what is Never Never Land? Yes. Cheech, what is Camelot? Yes. Cheech, what is a baster? Yes.
Cheech Marin, who competed in our celebrity tournament and won the first tournament with celebrities, was most impressive. And what was amazing there is that a lot of people had preconceived notions about him, saying, oh, he's going to be a dopehead and he's not going to do well. And no, he was very bright, very intelligent, handled himself extremely well.
Celebrity Jeopardy. Are the questions easier, the clues easier?
You know, for celebrities, just like for any other, for when teens come on, you know, we try to be aware of who our contestants are, and we tailor the material, not to individuals, of course, but to what people can reasonably be expected to know.
Billy Weiss is the head writer for the show. Billy and his team of 8 writers and 6 researchers are responsible for coming up with the clues for the board.
We air something like 14,000 clues a year, I think. Clues is a good way to talk about it.
Okay,
yeah, that's neutral. I think it's something like that, so a few 100,000 over the life of the show.
With that many clues, you would think they would run out of content.
You never run out of material because you're always moving from one subject to another. When you get tired of history, you move on to sports, and when that starts to seem a little light, then you do some art. And so you're always coming at it from a fresh mental angle, so it's not that hard to come up with new ideas or new ways to approach the old material.
As the host who delivers all those clues, you would think Alex Trebek would be a walking encyclopedia.
Well, I retain all of it for about 15 seconds, and then it starts to drift away. Keep in mind that after hosting the show for 29 years, I have absorbed a lot of information, but I have also forgotten a lot of information.
Back to the contestants. I asked Maggie what advice she would give to any contestant wannabes.
Ken Jennings actually said one time in an interview after he'd won 74 games of Jeopardy, how did you do so well? He said, I rang in a lot and I was correct a lot. That would be my advice too. Ring in a lot and be correct a lot. But really, in all honesty, if you're going to be on Jeopardy, you want to be on Jeopardy, watch the show. Find the categories that you feel that maybe you're not so strong in. What are your weak spots? And then you want to study those, like state capitals or order of the vice presidents or something like that.
Because nobody, especially those on the show, wants to see someone bomb.
We sweat it out, certainly, when they're not getting them, and we watch the shows here on stage, and you know, it's not great TV to see people staring into the camera for 5 seconds, so we definitely want the show to keep moving and for the contestants to keep up their energy and be confident and win money.
Our contestant coordinators work with them in the first commercial break if they haven't gotten off to a decent start or if they seem to be having trouble with the signaling device, and they coach them a little bit, and usually they manage to turn things around.
I think what we're dealing with is very bright people on Jeopardy who really want to have a good time, who are really well-rounded, and so it's just been a blast. And to work on a show that is of such quality, you know, really means a lot. After being in the business for a long time, you can proudly say I work on Jeopardy, and I enjoy every minute of it. Plus, I learn a lot working on this show. It's surprising.
Wow. You know, Jimmy, two things that I took away from that. One of them was the interaction that Alex Trebek had with not only the contestants, but the audience. Obviously, during the commercial breaks, there's some time, and he would take questions from the audience. And another thing, back in 2013, he had just had some heart issues. He had some medical issues back then, and I asked him, you know, just kind of casually, how you feeling or whatever, and I got the sense that he really didn't, it wasn't about him. He didn't want to talk about that. He, you know, it was about the game, and that's what he was there for. A really remarkable
You know, everybody
man.
knows who Alex Trebek is. And Lisa, if I remember correctly, you said that he's not a snob, or he just wasn't the uppity kind of person you'd expect someone famous to be.
Yeah, no, he was just doing his job just like everybody else does their job, and he was no different from anybody else.